Hi everyone, so I am Astha Diwan and I am going live today from the group Wandering Live Minds and very happy and enthusiastic to talk to you all about the importance of mental health and the importance of why physical health is important as well as mental health is also important, and how the two of them are connected. So this is really what I want to talk to you about: how our anxiety, our depression, how our all that is going on inside us is impacting us today. Yeah, so this is what we are going to talk about today, and I'm waiting for the audience to join in, and also would be answering a lot of questions that people have, a lot of questions that at the time that we are in, how this situation is even more difficult to handle, and how we can handle it even better than what we are doing right now. So this is all that I'm going to be talking about today, and let's see, and waiting for some people to join in. I think Neetu has just joined in. Hi Neetu. So all of you, I'm sure, are at home today. It's a lovely Sunday evening, and trying to do your best and live as balanced, as happily as possible in the current pandemic situation that we are in, right? And and that is what human mind does. That is what it does. It always likes to adjust as much as possible, but still there are some areas. So if you are able to hear me, if my voice is loud and clear, please give me a thumbs up, and it's like a voice testing. I can take help from you, from Neetu, and I think someone else also has joined in. So maybe you can say a small hi to me so that I can see the comments as well. Okay, great. So Neetu is here and Sakshi is also here. Thank you so much, Sakshi, and thank you so much, Neetu. Okay, so the voice is clear, though I will be louder as I go ahead. And let me just put my phone on mute because I don't want that to disturb us in between. Yeah, all right, I'm done. Okay, so uh, you know, a lot of hard work that both of you are have put in, for putting it all together, for putting this whole event together, and looking forward to interact with the members of Wandering Minds today, and maybe I can add some value, to your lives, to the lives, that how can we live more balanced, how can we live more beautifully, more happily in the times that we call as the difficult times that we are in. So waiting for some more people to join in, and then we will get started. All right, so this is the topic, of mental health. We have been hearing about this topic for a long time, and it has become really something that is the point of discussion of people, and it is really brewing. It is on the rise, and the discussion is on the rise. And everybody is wondering that what is this, why is mental health so important, and what is that mental health is all about. So I'm sure these are the questions that keep coming to us as well, and and we actually wonder that is there some issue that I really have. If this issue big enough to really consult somebody. I do feel these kind of thoughts. I do feel disappointed, unhappy, or irritated at times. is it really that I should it can be handled on my own, or should I really look for a professional for that? So these are, I'm sure, the questions that keep on coming to our minds when we talk about mental health. And and we will talk about all this today. I would like to throw some light on it. I would like to build your awareness and improve your knowledge about these things as well. Yeah. um, in the meantime, there are some people who have joined in, and thanks for joining in, and joining in us today on a Sunday. I would take a bit of 2 minutes, and after that I will introduce myself also formally, because I think I like to share with you that what is that brings me here, what is that is my experience in this field, and how I talk with so much passion and confidence about this particular topic. Okay, so we have already 7 people who have joined us in, and there are more who are joining in. So in the meantime, I will share with you, because see, whoever has joined in, I think we should definitely start having our discussion and our engagement. So as all of you know, my name is Astha Diwan, and in this profession of people development, I've been working for last 19 years in the area of people development, where I engage with people at different levels. So in the first 13 years of my career, I have been absolutely working in the field of training and development. So my forte was delivering trainings with behavior, soft skills, leadership skills, all of these areas that I was working with. I worked with corporates, I worked with different companies in the learning and development field. And then I realized that my forte is really working on people's behavior, people's mind. I love working with people one to one. Yeah, so that is when my journey of becoming a life coach started. I did my coaching certification. I also did some more diplomas and study in the field of subconscious mind, and that is how I really became a counselor and became the counselor of behavior, of mental health. That how the mind, the subconscious mind, impacts our behavior, how it makes us feel happy, anxious, or irritable. Why does this, where does this emotion really come from, and where is it deep rooted in our subconscious mind? So this has been my 19 years journey, where initial 13 years I was mainly delivering workshops, but the last 7 years I'm working more with people on a one to one basis. I still do workshops with corporates, and I have a lot of clients where I help them with their employee behavior, their employee wellness, and all of these areas. But yes, my forte is working with people individually and in really bringing the change that they're looking forward in their life. Yeah. So all right, so let us get started for today. We have few people already here, and I will be taking your questions as well towards the end, because really through your questions only you will be able to get the best value out of our interaction today. Yeah. So the moment I answer your questions, then only you will get the gist that what is that you're looking for. Yeah. But then before that, I want to talk to you about certain areas, which are the areas that will give you awareness of mental health. Why is mental health so important, and why it is becoming more and more important in the times that we are in right now, and also future as well. Not just now but future as well. Yeah. Okay, so let me ask you all a question, whoever is here. Yeah. Do you think physical health is important? If something happens to us, we let's say there is a there is some pain in our body, or there is some indigestion, anything which is to do with physical ailment or health. If you think that is important, give me a yes and a thumbs up, and then I will ask you another question. So do you think physical health is important to all of you? Yeah, all right. Thanks, Chitra, for joining in. And Chitra is saying yes. Because if I mean, I'm sure all of you would feel that if physical health is fine, that is what can keep us going, right? Keep us going on. It helps us in, delivering the best in our professional life, delivering the best in our personal life as well, right? So, definitely, as said, and I would like to hear other people as well. So, do you think physical health is important to you? Okay, so Sakshi is also saying yes. So I'm sure all of you agree to that, and because this is an answer which cannot have a no answer, and absolutely this is the reason I asked you, Neetu. You said yes, it is equally important. But today, what I want to tell you is that the physical health at all levels is connected to the mental health. So if I was to say that if your mental health is not right, if mentally you are not balanced, if you are not happy emotionally, then that is what is actually impacting your physical health a lot. Would you not give importance to mental health as well, and maybe a little more importance to mental health, because you know that that might be the root cause behind some of the ailments that you are having in your physical health? Yeah, so if I were to say that mental health is actually the root cause, yeah, actually the root cause behind the problems that might be having in physical health, mental health might be responsible for that. Would you not like to know how to correct, or how to balance, or how to find, or become absolutely fine in the mental health level? Yeah, give me a yes or no, or a thumbs up. Yeah, so am I now? There are 11 of us here. So okay, so there is a problem in my connection. Okay, is my voice clear? All right, so let me change my position a bit, and maybe that's when you will be able to hear me properly. Yeah, is that better? Okay, great. Okay, great. Thank you so much, girls. Thank you so much. Because obviously, it's important that my voice should also be clear, and also the video should be clear. So, thank you so much. Now, the last question that I asked, and what I explained to all of you, was that I said that physical health is dependent on mental health. In fact, it is by research, with the help of research, and with the help of lot of studies, it has been found that lot of times the problems that are happening in the physical health of people are actually because of they not being mentally balanced, or they not having some issue in their mental health side. So let me share with you with an example. Okay, uh, for example, it has been proven that if there is a lot of anxiety that people have, right, they're anxious, they're not very sure what would happen in the future, and they are, not very happy with the way their life is going on. There have been cases that we have seen that they develop a kind of a blood pressure issue. They start developing diabetes issues, and these are the issues that are seen in people who are going through anxiety. Also, let's say if there are people who are going through depression and unhappiness, then we see issues like weight gain. Yeah, we see issues like knee problems, and having body pains, in especially in the legs, because depression and all these issues are somewhere connected to not being able to move on in life. Yeah, not being able to do things that you want to do. And then we see the issues cropping up of body aches, problem with legs, and all of that. Now, my today's session is not to tell you that which mental health problem has which physical problem, because this connection has been very well established, that if you are wanting to live physically healthy and physically without diseases, you need to also concentrate on how are you feeling mentally, how are you feeling emotionally, right? So for example, let me share with you that we have actually kind of for we and today I'll talk to you about different kind of people and what are the kind of problems that they have, right? So there is some okay, so experience that practically blood pressure due to depression. So Diksha is right here, and I'm thank you Diksha for sharing that, because it is sometimes it is very ironical that being a counselor, being a mental health counselor, it is I find very difficult that there are people who would be coming out and sharing the kind of problems that they are having, or they would coming out and sharing that okay, they also went through depression, or they also went through anxiety. Yeah, but then believe you me that it encourages other people a lot. Like Diksha, right now what you have shared with you, that due to depression you suffered blood pressure, or Neetu is sharing that that because of lot of anxiety she has BP issues that she has experienced. People, generally we are not very comfortable coming out and sharing, and this is what does not encourage other people also to talk about their problems, especially the mental health problems, because then it becomes like a taboo that mental health is not that we can talk to people about. We can talk about physical ailments. We're very this thing of saying that these days I'm suffering this problem, that problem, but not mental. But I have a question to each one of you, like all who are here, who are listening to me. Let me ask you, isn't mind the most complex organ of our body? Yeah, if you were to say that which is the most complex and which is the most difficult organ, or I mean I would say that also not just complex but the most important as well, or having the most pressure as well. So isn't mind the most complex organ of our body? Give me a yes or no. Yeah. So do you agree that mind is one of the most complex organ of our body? Yeah, of course, heart. We say heart, but actually, all the thinking is being done in the mind. For heart, also, the thinking is getting done in the mind. In fact, I'll tell you why we say that heart, why we say think from your mind or think from heart. Because thinking तो mind में ही हो रही है, thinking और कहीं नहीं हो रही. The heart is only the function of heart is only to pump blood, right? Really, heart is not yeah, but then of course it is also one of the complex organs. So if that is the most complex organ, and that is what is the one which has the maximum pressure as well, so I think that the mind is one organ जिसका हमें ध्यान भी सबसे ज़्यादा रखना चाहिए. We should be the most worried about that as well, because it is something, if the mind is not fine, then everything becomes a problem. Every problem that we might be having in our life, happiness, or not non-happiness, or irritation or not irritation, or anxiety, everything starts from the mind, right? And Sakshi is saying mind is always wandering with thoughts, and the whole body lingers on accordingly. Absolutely. And we are talking to the members of wandering mind, so we have to talk about mind first. So then this is why I'm saying that concentrating on your mind and working on your mind, that your mind is in sync with your body, your mind is in your control. You have to really ask yourself that is your mind in your control, or you are in control of your mind? Who is the controller? Yeah. So a lot of times, if let me give you an example. So kabhi kabhi kya hota hai, imagine that somebody is riding a horse. Okay, if you're riding the horse, would you like to control the horse? Yeah, or you would want horse to control you? Yeah, you would want to control the horse, right? You would not want horse to go out of control and then you are in control of the horse, right? You would want to control the horse, that okay, now the horse wants to go, you want to go left, indicate the horse to go left or right, whatever. So this is exactly what is mind is. We need to know how to control our mind. if we would not know how to control our mind, the way you need to learn how to control a horse when you're riding a horse, the same way you need to know how to control the mind as well, right? And believe you me, if we have not learned this art, if we have not learned this skill to control our mind, then we are going to be really having trouble in every part of our life. And I'll give you, I'll explain this you with an example. Let's say there is, you hear that there is somebody who is talking bad about you. Yeah, you get to know that there is somebody, a friend, who you thought that should not talk bad about you, but you get to know that she has said something about you. Now the moment you hear this, obviously you will not like it. Yeah, you will not like it, because you will like that, okay, she is my friend, she should not talk bad about me. But this is where the control of your mind comes into the play. When, if you do not have control over mind, you will not feel nice, you will feel sad, you will be very worried, you will actually talk to some more people about it, that how can she say something about me, and all of that. But the moment you have control over your mind, you will say, it does not matter. I do not control what other people say. I can only control my mind and what I say and my behavior. I cannot control other people's behavior. So if she is talking bad about me, maybe she has this habit of gossiping, or maybe she has not liked something what I'm doing. I will talk to her and only her. If, let me wait, let me settle, get these things settled down, and when the right opportunity comes, I will talk to her. Instead of getting worried, anxious, sad, irritated, if you have the control on your brain, then you will take this action, and you will not take the action of getting worried and talking to everybody about it. Yeah, so this is what we call control over your mind. There are very, very small things in life where we can either take control on over our mind, or we can lose control and let our emotions run in all the directions and get impacted by it, and not feel happy about it. Yeah, because there will be events. See, there is, none of us is living such a ideal or perfect life where there will not be difficult events, where there will not be difficult people in our life. There will be difficult people as well, there will be difficult events as well, there will be difficult circumstances as well that we will come across. Yeah, and in those situations, the way we handle our mind is entirely dependent on how we control. And it would all the control that we have will actually decide how will this event or this person impact us emotionally. Yeah, so now what I like you to do is, I would want you to ask me questions, because through your questions I will be able to answer that what are the things that you are going through at this point of time, how can I answer, help you in this situation, and okay. So Ravindra is saying, please raise yourself a little. So you mean my voice basically? Okay, so I'll raise my voice for sure. Okay, so now I want if you can ask me some questions, and then I can answer, and with the help of answering those questions, maybe I can give you some practical solutions or practical tips that you can take care of at this point of time. So looking forward to your questions. What are the questions that you have in your mind pertaining to how mental health, pertaining to how to handle this situation, the current situation? Yeah, how to manage mind when people start controlling you. Absolutely. So Neetu, okay, now let's understand this with a particular phenomenon which would be helping each one of you. So you need to understand that we are actually divided into two major type of personality styles, right? Though we have actually 7 to 8 type of personality styles, but if we divide them, there are two major. The first major is somebody who is left brain centric, right? Left brain means their left brain is more active, and they're more logical, they're more factual, their self esteem is high. So they are, they are people who are more in control and more confident about themselves. The second category is right brain centric. Now, right brain centric people are the people who are more emotional in nature. They're more creative, more emotional, more, they're more people centric. They always have this habit of giving more and receiving less, yeah, and they keep others before them. So what happens is that, and they are not, their self esteem is not very high, so the ego is also not very high, the ego is also less, and the self esteem is also less. So this is the right brain kind of people. Now what happens is that right brain always attract the left brain, right? So okay, so I don't know, Ravinder, it's okay, as long as आप मेरी आवाज़ सुन पा रहे हैं, because the way I'm sitting, I would not be able to change much right now. Also because of the the connectivity issue that we were having, right? So that is why I think this is. But let me just try and. Is this better? Is this better? Yeah, so let me come back. I think I was explaining you something that was very important, that we are either very very left brain centric, and then either we are right brain centric. So my dear Neetu, if we are people who are right brain centric, then we definitely have the tendency of letting people control us, and that is where this problem comes in. That people always, right brain people are always having left brain in their life. For example, if you are a right brain centric person, your husband would 100% be a left brain centric person, right? So what happens is, a left brain centric person has a higher self esteem, and a stronger being, a stronger ego, and unconsciously they end up controlling the other person. Now, being controlled or not being controlled is absolutely in your hands, Neetu, right? So if you feel somebody is trying to control you too much, you have to start saying no to the person. You have to start resisting to giving in to all the demands. You will have to find opportunities to tell the person that I am okay with doing this, but I cannot do this. It is not physically possible for me, or I don't like doing it. So for example, if there is your husband or your mother-in-law or somebody who you feel is trying to control you too much, or control you to an extent, so you need to really stop and actually communicate. Now you are saying, so how to deal with it? If it hurts, it's okay. First of all, raise your own self esteem. Yeah, first of all, raise your own confidence, that I am suffering because of this thing. I am not liking it. I am unhappy because I am not able to do things in the way I want to do things, right? So first of all, be clear of that you are doing it not to hurt somebody else, but to save yourself from unhappiness and hurt. Yeah, why are you wanting to do it? For you all only, right? And also, you need to understand that if you are unhappy, if you are not you are not at peace in something, how will you give happiness to somebody else, right? How will you be mentally balanced, and be happy in a relationship, right? So please understand, for you it is very important, and it is important for this relationship also, that there is a balance. It is not that one is dominating too much and the other is being dominated or being controlled too much. Yeah, so this is what my suggestion would be, Neetu, that slowly find out ways to communicate, find out ways to tell the other person that this is fine with you, but this is not, right? And do not worry about the hurt, because it all matters that how do you say it. If you say it with a lot of reaction and lot of anger, obviously the other person will be hurt. But if you say it with a lot of assertiveness, patience in you, and looking at the right time to communicate, then you will be able to communicate very very effectively, for sure. Yeah. Okay, so I hope, Neetu, this has answered your question to an extent. I of course, There is a lot more detail and understanding that has to be done about your personality and the other person's personality to be able to really bring you out from this. Yeah. Looking for more questions, I think it would be a good idea. For example, great. Okay, we've recently joined by Mahika. Hi, welcome for joining in, Mahika. Now I am seeing a question. So Diksha is saying kids during the time of lockdown have been restricted and at the same time not getting due attention from parents and hence getting stubborn. How can we handle that? Thank you so much for this question, Diksha. It's a very valid question. Most of the times parents ask this question, how to engage kids, how to engage kids. But we need to understand that kids, whether they are engaged or not, today it's they are engaged in any case. They would not be free. If you are not engaging them in their studies, they would be engaged on the phone, they would be engaged on the television. They would be definitely engaged. But are you spending the quality time with them? That is the problem. And believe you me, they are not getting the time that they need at this point of time from us parents. And it is not just true for you, believe you me, it is true for me as well, right? Because what is happening is that there is more work that we have household work as well, we have professional work as well, and in that whole scenario we miss giving time to them as well, and we miss giving time to ourselves as well. So the way we take out time for everything, let me ask you this question. We brought these children, yeah, so Maika, this is exactly what I'm coming to, and I'll come to teenagers specifically. But we brought these children into our lives, and it was our decision to bring them in our life, and now we don't have time for them. So the way we find time for everything else, let's say if cleaning is important, cooking is important, profession is important, why are the kids not important? It is all about importance and priority. They are important. Their food is important. Their clothes are important. Their cleanliness and homework is important. But the emotional time that you have to spend with them, that takes a back seat. So find time, put that in your routine. Maybe a time to play with them, maybe a time to talk to them, maybe a time to read a book with them, but you need to give that quality time. For example, with my daughter, it is a ritual that the moment she wakes up, and she wakes up obviously after me, there is that 5, 7, 10 minutes that I spend with her, even if it is just hugging her, and she for her it is very important. If she doesn't get that 5 minutes from me, she does not feel nice. She feels that my day has not started well. So some kids ask for it, some kids know how to snatch it, but some kids do not do that, right? So find that time, the hug and everything, the importance is very important to the parents, to children, and find that time for them. Yeah, we brought them into this life to be able to spend quality time with them, not only taking care of their studies and food and everything, right? So now Mehika, you had a question, any tips for handling teenagers, right? Sorry, so can you ask me the specific question, what were teenagers, specific problem that you are facing, so I'll be able to answer that question. Gunjan is saying it hurts, if hurts linger for long, how to forget that? Okay, so Gunjan, and Maika, I'll take up your question about teenagers if you can give me specifically the issue, but definitely I'll take up Gunjan's question first. So Gunjan, as you said, spending quality time is the key. They need us, believe you me. I work with a lot of teenagers, and one thing that they have to say is that we, in a way, teenagers are not able to say that they are feeling lonely, but they actually are feeling lonely. They actually feel that the parents are with us. See, right now they're not able to spend time with their friends as well. So even the loneliness is even more, has gone to a higher level, right? So as parents, find that quality time, and that is what they are really looking forward for. It does not matter for them really if the food is the best or not. For children, it doesn't matter. Whatever you will cook, you are the mother, they will be able to relish it. So it doesn't matter to them. But the time that you give, nobody else can replace that time for them. Yeah. So I think I went a little overboard, I think, because we all are mothers and children are important to us. Now, the question that Gunjan asked, and it's a very interesting question, that ma'am, if hurt lingers for long, how to forget that? Gunjan, the more you're hurt, yeah, so I'll come to Mahika your question, and I know you have 2 teenager boys. So Gunjan, the more the hurt is long, the more important it becomes to forgive and to move on from it. Because imagine that जितना आपका प्रॉब्लम लंबा है, जैसे कहते हैं ना, जितनी पुरानी बीमारी है, उतना उसके लिए मेडिसिन लेना, उतना उसके लिए टाइम देना ज़्यादा इम्पॉर्टेंट है. तो आपका अगर if there is something that is hurting you, there is an event that is hurting you, there is something that you have lost and आप उसको भुला नहीं पा रहे, या there is a person who has hurt you and you're not able to forgive that person, forgiveness is important. I'm telling you, there is no way to move on in your life than to forgive people. Yeah, because let me tell you that if, let's say, there is a person who did something with you intentionally, or he or she did something unintentionally, in both the cases, intentional or unintentional, the person who is suffering is you, right? Because उन्होंने जो किया वो शायद intentional था या unintentional था, वो उनका कर्मा है, right? उन्होंने कर दिया, उनको नहीं, you don't know that is it still bothering that person or not, but the person who is suffering is you. So who is more important for you? To get out, you yourself, obviously, to get yourself out of suffering is more important than what is happening to that person. Yeah. And all this suffering, believe you me, the longer the suffering goes on, it starts impacting our health, it starts impacting our mind, our mental health even more. So forgiveness is the key, my dear. If you want to learn forgiveness, I can teach you how to forgive, and I can help you with forgiveness, because I understand the more the hurt is longer, it is even more difficult to forgive somebody. It's not easy. I can just say that forgive, but forgiving somebody doesn't come easy. Yeah. Okay, so now the only one thing I will say about forgiveness, because a lot of you would have this question about forgiveness, that जब आप किसी को forgive करते हैं तो आप उन्हें कुछ नहीं दे रहे. Don't think that I can. Lot of times, when I tell my clients and somebody I'm working with कि आप forgive करो, तो वो कहते हैं कि मैं तो उनको एक अपनी 1% कुछ भी नहीं दूं. Why should I give anything to them? Why should I even give forgiveness to them? You are not giving anything to them by forgiving. You are giving peace of mind to your own self by forgiving. You are not giving anything to that person. You are getting rid of suffering, and you're giving freedom to your own self by forgiving somebody. Okay, remember that you're giving to yourself, not to them. Yeah. So that is about forgiveness. Now I will take up, Mahika, your question about the teenagers, but there is a question which is linked to what I just talked about, and Sakshi is saying how to deal when the loss of loved one is still haunting your mind. I know this is the most difficult thing, Sakshi, and each one of us, I mean, even if the people who have not asked this question, I'm sure there is somebody or the other we have lost who was our loved one, could be our parent, could be, anybody, who we loved, and we still have that. Now, you need to understand this one particular fact when it comes to the loved one, able to forget a loved one, or able to move on from the death of a loved one. My dear friends, each one of us, we are a soul, and we will only be on this earth till the time our time is there, till the time our journey is there, till the time our last day does not come. Yeah. And on that last day, वो लास्ट डे उस सोल का है. आपके हिसाब से वो लास्ट डे नहीं था, बिकॉज हाउ यू आर लुकिंग एट दैट सोल इज कि अभी तो मुझे और भी उनसे प्यार चाहिए था, अभी तो उनकी रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटीज पूरी नहीं हुई थी, अभी तो ये करना बाकी था, अभी तो वो करना बाकी था. ये आपका पर्सपेक्टिव है. बट द सोल दैट डिसाइड्स टू लीव, द डिसीजन इज दैट सोल्स डिसीजन. and if that soul has decided to leave, it was their journey and their decision. अगर आज भी आप उनके लिए परेशान हो, या अगर आपको लगता है कि you're not able to move on, let me tell you, you are disturbing that soul even further because of this. Because that soul ideally has moved on, वो अपनी नई जर्नी पे जा चुके हैं, लेकिन फिर भी there is this one thing that might be pulling them back, or might be getting their attention, that you who they left behind is still not become wise enough, or has still not become intelligent enough to accept the death, to accept that it was his journey or her journey and she has already left or he has already left, and you have to keep moving in your journey. So bless them, they are there. कोई भी सोल का फिजिकल वो लेवल पे चले जाते हैं, बट ऑन द सोल लेवल they're always there blessing you, they're always there showering their love for you, so why having this deprivation? आपको फिजिकल प्रेजेंस ही तो नहीं दिख रही ना, राइट? दैट इज, बट आप उनको याद करके एक हैप्पी मेमोरीज के साथ याद करो और मूव ऑन करो, राइट? अपनी लाइफ की जर्नी को रोको नहीं, बिकॉज दैट इज द वर्स्ट थिंग. इफ दे आर लुकिंग एट यू फ्रॉम अप देयर, they would be very sad knowing that you are not able to move on in your individual journey. Yeah, so this is what I like to share with you about loved ones being leaving, and I'm sure that each one of you would have, if think like that, it will help you in moving on for sure. Yeah, so Atul is asking, how do we help others to improve listening and patience? Atul, hello, am I back? I think my screen got frozen for a minute. Yeah, so Atul, I like to take up this question and say that that you can't change anybody. Yeah, if you are planning to or thinking of changing others, then that is not possible, that's very difficult. You can only change yourself. So if let's say you think that people who are on the other side, अगर आपको लगता है कि उनकी लिसनिंग पुअर है या उनकी पेशेंस पुअर है, तो आपको थोड़ा ज़्यादा पेशेंट होना पड़ेगा इन सेइंग कि नो, okay, if she is not able to listen to me, let me first listen. Okay, let me first show the level of patience that I want her to have or I want him to have, right? So थोड़ा अपना जो judgment है उनके लिए, that she doesn't listen or he doesn't listen or he doesn't have patience, drop that judgment. Yeah, आपको अपने आप को तो चेंज कर सकते हो, आप अपने आप का पेशेंस बढ़ा सकते हो, बट नॉट ऑफ द अदर पर्सन. एंड बिलीव यू मी, दे विल स्टार्ट चेंजिंग द मोमेंट. देखिए, ये एक फिजिक्स, मैं ये स्पिरिचुअल लेवल पर नहीं कह रही, ये तो एक फिजिक्स का लॉ है जो हमने पढ़ा है, दैट एवरी एक्शन हैज अ इक्वल एंड ऑपोजिट रिएक्शन. या, एंड इफ यू चेंज योर एक्शंस, then only the reaction will change. Yeah, so जैसे हम सुनते भी आए हैं कि if you want different results, then have different actions, perform different actions to get different results. Yeah, so उनको भी पता है कि आप उनकी बात सुनते नहीं हो या आपका कुछ judgment है उनके लिए, तो the other person also speaks a lot or always wants to tell you what they feel and does not want to listen to you. So change your perspective towards them. Yeah, and thank you, Mahika. I am actually at a place where I think the signals are fine now. I tested, but yes, I think because of a lot of usage of internet, the signals are generally not very good these days. And now I would like to take up the question that Mahika asked before there's any other question, because I think I've been able to take most of the questions that are coming my way. But do ask me more questions if you have. I love interacting with each one of you. I mean, it is my passion to be able to share whatever is my knowledge, my experience. And believe you me, I have gone through each of these problems myself. It is not something that I'm just doing it because I have done some knowledge about it, or I have done some studies about it. Lot of them are my own experiences, like relationship, like losing a loved one, like really coming out of a difficult time and improving my self-esteem. So all of these things I have also gone through myself to be able to share with you today. So Mahika is asking, I have two lovely teenager boys. Being a single mom, sometimes I feel I'm lacking. I'm their friend and we talk about everything. However, is there anything I can do to to walk that extra mile? First of all, Mahika, I would say I think you need to stop expecting from you a lot or feeling guilty about that I am not able to do enough. You are a single mom, and I understand that you think that I have to do extra because now I am the mother and I'm the father as well. But first of all, why are you not letting yourself go of that guilt that you are doing something less? I don't think you're doing anything less. If they are your friends, if they can come and talk to you about anything, if they can actually share anything with you, I think you're doing a great job, because in today's time, this is what the children are lacking the most, that they are not feeling a strong bond with their parents. So there is no thermometer, or there is no weighing scale which can tell us that are we doing enough or not, because कोई parameter नहीं है कि if I've given 2 hours of time, that is enough, or if I've given 1 hour of time, that is enough. Some days you will have less time, some days you will have more time, as long as you are connected, as long as they can come to you and share anything, as long as you are able to gauge that what is happening to my child, is he emotionally happy or not, is he disturbed somewhere and I have to come in and pitch in. Those are the things, if you are able to gauge and you are aware, then that is enough. Don't put this extra pressure of guilt on yourself, because that is what actually hinders, and that is what actually does not make you be happy as a single mom, or be balanced as a mom yourself. Yeah, so come out of that. It is, the problem is not with teenagers. The problem I see is somewhere in the way you are looking at your own self. Yeah, so this is my suggestion here to you. Okay, great. So let me see. Okay, Suman has a question, and Suman is Mahika, I have answered your question. I hope you resonate with this question, this answer that I gave. So Suman is another divan we have on the live today, and I will definitely like to take Suman's question. I have a question. How can we change ourselves if a person is too sensitive and want to do everything good with her family and relatives, and always try to make sure that everyone but she's okay. One second. I think, yeah, it's a long question. Yeah, everyone is happy with her, but every time she finds none is happy with her, and she feels very bad on this. So these are the things that happen. And from last, so I completely get it, and no medicine is working for her now. This is a very complex case that you have talked about, Suman. And if it, I would